Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to remind you of a profound truth: you do not have to stay poor. Poverty is not your destiny, it is a condition, a temporary circumstance, not a permanent state of being. Each one of you possesses untapped potential, gifts, and talents that can propel you beyond any limitation. You see, the greatest obstacle to overcoming poverty is not the lack of resources, but the lack of vision. When you cannot see beyond your current situation, you become confined by it. But when you dare to dream, to envision a life greater than what you see now, you ignite a spark within that can light the path to your future. Do not let your environment define you. Many have risen from humble beginnings to achieve greatness because they refuse to accept their circumstances as the final word on their lives. They understood that where you start does not determine where you finish. It's essential to transform your mindset. Believe that you are capable of more, that you deserve more. As a person thinks in their heart, so they become. Fill your mind with thoughts of success, prosperity, and purpose. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, who challenge you to reach higher. Take action on your dreams. Talent without action is wasted potential. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Every small step forward brings you closer to your goal. Do not despise humble beginnings, for they often lay the strongest foundations. Educate yourself. Knowledge is a powerful tool that can open doors you never knew existed. Invest in learning new skills, understanding new concepts, and expanding your horizons. The more equipped you are to seize opportunities when they arise. Remember, setbacks are not failures, but lessons. Do not be discouraged by obstacles. They are merely stepping stones on your journey. Persevere, stay committed, and maintain your focus. Your persistence will pave the way for your success. You do not have to stay poor. The power to change your life lies within you. Embrace your potential, step out in faith, and pursue your purpose with passion and determination. Your future is not a matter of chance, but a matter of choice. Choose today to rise above, to break the chains of limitation, and to walk boldly into the abundant life that awaits you. Poverty is not a permanent state. It's important to understand that poverty is merely a condition, a temporary circumstance that does not have to define your entire existence. You may have been born into it, you may have experienced it for years, but it is not who you are. Your identity is not found in the lack of resources or in the struggles you face. Too many people believe that because they started with nothing, they are destined to live with nothing. But God never intended for you to remain in poverty. It's not your destiny. It's not the final chapter of your life. Circumstances can change, and they will change when you understand that you have the power to break free. We are all born into different situations, but your current financial state does not define your future. Poverty is a condition, yes, but it's a temporary one that you have the ability to transform. There is something inside of you, potential, gifts, abilities that can bring about a complete shift in your life. You don't have to accept poverty as your lot in life. The moment you recognize that you were created for more is the moment you begin to break the chains of limitation. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that because poverty may have been passed down from previous generations, you have to carry that burden. The choices you make today, the decisions to invest in yourself, to dream and to act, are what will shift the trajectory of your life. Poverty is not a life sentence, it's simply a condition you're passing through. When you understand that, you begin to see beyond your circumstances and your potential begins to surface. You're not meant to stay poor, you're meant to rise above it. Vision is the key to escaping poverty. Without a clear vision, people perish, they remain trapped in the same cycle, seeing no way out. If you cannot envision a future beyond your current circumstances, you will stay exactly where you are. It is your ability to see beyond the immediate struggles, the daily lack, that propels you forward. Vision is what allows you to recognize that there is more available for you, more that you can achieve, more that you can become. When you have vision, you begin to operate differently. You start making decisions based on where you want to be, not where you are. The person who has vision begins to prepare for the future they see in their heart, even if their present circumstances don't reflect it yet. Vision gives you hope. It pushes you to work harder, to take risks, to seek out opportunities you might have overlooked. It allows you to move with purpose rather than drifting aimlessly in the conditions around you. Poverty doesn't just attack your bank account, it attacks your ability to dream. It tells you that your situation will never change, that there is no way out, that this is all there is. But vision fights back against that lie. It challenges the status quo and dares to imagine something greater. A person without vision becomes stuck, but a person with vision begins to break the limitations of their environment. Vision makes you resourceful, even in the face of lack. It stirs creativity, opening your eyes to solutions that others might miss. It is vision that separates those who remain in poverty from those who rise above it. With vision, you begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as an agent of change in your own life. Vision shows you that there are opportunities all around you, and it pushes you to pursue them, to take action. Without vision, people settle for less than they deserve, but with vision, you begin to realize that poverty is not your final destination. It's simply part of the journey. Your environment does not define your future. Too often, people allow their surroundings to dictate their potential, believing that because they were born into a particular situation, they are forever bound by it. But your environment is just the backdrop to your story. It does not determine who you can become. It's easy to look at your circumstances and feel trapped, as if the place you come from limits what you can achieve. But the truth is, many of the greatest success stories come from people who refused to let their environment confine them. They saw beyond what was around them, and they chose not to be a product of their conditions. You may have grown up in poverty in a community where opportunities seem scarce and the mindset is one of limitation. But that does not have to be your future. The environment you are born into may be difficult, but it does not have the final say over your life. It is simply the starting point. You have the power to rise above the limitations of your surroundings. Your dreams, your potential, and your purpose are far bigger than the space you occupy today. When you understand that your environment doesn't define you, you stop letting it shape your decisions. You begin to look for ways to break out, to find new opportunities, to connect with people who can help you grow. You no longer settle for what is familiar just because it's what you've always known. Instead, you seek out what is possible. The key is not to let the mindset of your environment become your mindset. Just because those around you may not see a way out doesn't mean there isn't one. You must cultivate a mindset that transcends your circumstances, that sees possibility where others see impossibility. Your future is not bound by the limits of your present environment. When you stop letting your surroundings define you, you begin to unlock the potential within you. It's about understanding that where you come from does not determine where you are going. Many people have come from nothing, from the lowest of places, and have gone on to achieve greatness because they refuse to be limited by their environment. They tapped into the potential within, sought opportunities outside of their surroundings, and kept their eyes fixed on a future far greater than where they started. Transforming your mindset is critical to breaking free from poverty. What you think about yourself shapes your reality. If you continue to see yourself as lacking, struggling, or defeated, then that's the life you will live. But when you change how you think, when you begin to believe that you are capable of success, that you deserve abundance, everything shifts. The battle against poverty begins in the mind. You must renew your thinking and see yourself as someone worthy of achieving greatness. Your thoughts are seeds, and whatever you plant in your mind will grow. If you continually focus on scarcity, doubt, and fear, those things will multiply in your life. But when you focus on possibilities, on what you can do, on the potential that's inside you, you unlock doors to new opportunities. Transforming your mindset is about shifting from a mentality of lack to one of abundance. It's about believing that you can create a better life, no matter your current circumstances. Mindset determines behavior. When you think differently, you start acting differently. You stop making decisions based on fear or limitation and start moving with purpose and confidence. You no longer see challenges as insurmountable, but as opportunities to grow and develop. With a transformed mind, poverty no longer becomes a permanent fixture in your life. It becomes a condition you are destined to rise above. Action turns potential into progress. It's not enough to have dreams, ideas, and talents. You must act on them. Potential without action remains just potential. It doesn't matter how gifted you are or how big your vision is. If you don't take steps toward it, it will never manifest. Many people remain stuck in poverty, not because they lack ability, but because they fail to act on the ability they already possess. You cannot sit and wait for things to change. Change happens when you begin to move, when you take the initiative to make things happen. Too often, we underestimate the power of small steps. You may feel that you don't have enough resources, that the task ahead of you is too big, but you must start where you are. Use what's in your hands. Every little effort moves you closer to breaking free from the cycle of poverty. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. The moment you decide to act, you set things in motion. Doors begin to open, opportunities arise, and momentum builds. There will never be a perfect time to start. You must move with what you have now and trust that as you take action, things will unfold. The act of doing, of putting your hands to the work, is what separates those who rise above poverty from those who remain stuck in it. You can talk about your dreams all day, but it is the doing that will bring those dreams to life. Do not despise small beginnings. Every great success story starts with humble, often unnoticed beginnings. Too many people look down on the small steps, the small resources, the small opportunities, and dismiss them as insignificant. But it's those very beginnings that lay the foundation for something greater. The seed of a giant tree starts small, hidden beneath the soil, but with time and care, it grows into something powerful. The same is true for you. The small, humble steps you take now may not seem like much, but they are preparing you for greater things to come. When you despise small beginnings, you overlook the value of the lessons they bring. Starting small teaches you resilience, discipline, and patience. It builds the character necessary to handle the bigger responsibilities and blessings that come later. If you can be faithful with little, you will be trusted with more. There is power in learning to manage what you have now, no matter how little it seems. It is in these moments of small beginnings that you develop the strength, wisdom, and endurance needed for the larger opportunities ahead. Don't be discouraged by the size of your start. Every major breakthrough begins with a first step. What you do in the small moments determines how you will handle the larger ones. Those who succeed in life are not the ones who wait for something big to happen before they start. They are the ones who see the greatness in the small things and nurture them. They understand that every journey toward abundance starts with a single step, and they commit to taking that step, no matter how insignificant it might seem. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you grow. One of the reasons people remain in poverty is not simply because they lack money, but because they lack knowledge. What you don't know can limit you, can trap you in cycles of defeat. But the moment you start gaining knowledge, you begin to see new possibilities, new ways of thinking, and new avenues for success. Education is the key that unlocks doors to opportunities you never imagined possible. It's not always formal education. Sometimes it's learning new skills, reading, or gaining insight from those who have gone before you. When you invest in knowledge, you invest in your future. The world is constantly evolving, and those who commit to learning are the ones who stay ahead. Gaining knowledge allows you to become resourceful, to find solutions even when it seems there are none. It equips you to handle the challenges that come your way, enabling you to navigate life with wisdom and confidence. The difference between those who stay in poverty and those who rise above it is often their commitment to learning, to bettering themselves through knowledge. Knowledge gives you the power to change your circumstances. When you know better, you do better. It opens your mind, expands your vision, and helps you make informed decisions that move you forward. No one can take away the knowledge you acquire. It becomes part of your toolkit for success. In the journey to break free from poverty, knowledge is one of the most powerful tools you can possess. Seek it relentlessly, apply it diligently, and watch as it transforms your life. Setbacks are lessons, not failures. Life will inevitably present obstacles, and the journey out of poverty will not be without its challenges. But how you view those challenges determines whether you remain stuck or move forward. Many people allow setbacks to discourage them, seeing them as signs that they are not meant to succeed. But in truth, every setback contains a lesson, a key insight that, if learned, will propel you closer to your goal. It is not failure that defines you, but how you respond to it. When you see setbacks as opportunities to grow and improve, they no longer have the power to keep you down. The most successful people in life are those who have faced the greatest setbacks, but instead of giving up, they learned from them and kept moving forward. A setback is not a dead end, it is a detour, a moment to pause and reflect on what needs to be adjusted. It teaches you resilience, perseverance, and the ability to adapt. The person who never experiences challenges will never develop the strength necessary to sustain success. Setbacks refine you, shaping your character and preparing you for greater opportunities. Each time you encounter a setback, ask yourself, what is the lesson in this? There is always something to be gained from every experience, even the difficult ones. Those who rise above poverty are not those who never encounter setbacks, but those who learn from them, grow through them, and refuse to be defined by them. They understand that the path to success is not a straight line, but one filled with lessons that make them stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the abundance that lies ahead. Surround yourself with the right people. Who you associate with can either lift you up or pull you down. The company you keep has a powerful influence on your mindset, your attitude, and ultimately your success. If you're surrounded by people who constantly speak of limitation, failure, and doubt, it becomes much harder to rise above those things. But when you surround yourself with individuals who are focused on growth, success, and positivity, their energy fuels your own progress. They challenge you to think bigger, to strive for more, and to push beyond your current circumstances. The people in your circle can either be a blessing or a barrier. You must be intentional about who you allow to speak into your life. Are they people who believe in your vision? Do they encourage you to pursue your potential? Or do they constantly remind you of what you lack? The right people will help you see possibilities where others see obstacles. They will hold you accountable to your dreams and encourage you to keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult. Choosing the right associations is about more than just avoiding negativity. It's about positioning yourself for growth. Surround yourself with those who are where you want to be, who have already walked the path you're on, and who can share their knowledge and wisdom with you. Their experiences become lessons for you, and their success becomes a model you can follow. Poverty can be a mindset, and if you're always around people who are comfortable with that mindset, it becomes harder to break free. But when you connect with people who have already overcome it, you begin to see that breaking free is possible for you too. Embrace your purpose. Each one of us is created with a unique purpose and potential, and understanding that purpose is essential to breaking free from poverty. Your purpose is not just a job or a title, it is the reason you were put on this earth. When you align your life with your purpose, you tap into a source of motivation and drive that transcends external circumstances. Purpose gives you direction. It becomes the compass guiding your decisions and actions. So when you understand your purpose, you begin to see yourself not as a victim of your situation, but as a person destined for greatness. Purpose ignites passion, and that passion fuels your ambition. You start to realize that you have something valuable to offer to the world, something that can not only improve your life, but also enrich the lives of others. The more you pursue your purpose, the more you become aware of the opportunities around you. You start to see how your unique gifts and talents can create avenues for abundance. Living with purpose also means that you refuse to settle for mediocrity. You understand that your current circumstances do not define you. They are merely stepping stones toward your greater destiny. When you embrace your purpose, you are empowered to make choices that reflect that destiny. You become more intentional about the work you do, the relationships you build, and the opportunities you pursue. Purpose enables you to overcome challenges with resilience, because you know that what you're striving for is bigger than any temporary setback. Too many people drift through life without ever discovering their purpose, allowing themselves to be swept away by circumstances. But when you find your purpose, you find the motivation to rise above your environment. You begin to recognize that poverty is not your inheritance. It is simply a chapter in your story that you can choose to rewrite. Embracing your purpose is the key to unlocking the doors of possibility and abundance that await you. In conclusion, the journey out of poverty is not defined by your circumstances, but by the choices you make, the mindset you cultivate, and the actions you take. You do not have to stay poor, for within you lies the power to change your story. As you embrace your purpose, surround yourself with the right people, seek knowledge, and view setbacks as opportunities for growth. You will begin to see the barriers of poverty crumble before you. Remember, your past does not determine your future. It's time to rise, to believe in the potential that is uniquely yours, and to step boldly into the life you were destined to live. You have the tools, the ability, and the divine support to break free from limitations. Your journey begins today, and the future is yours to create. Imagine a world where every heartbeat resonates with divine purpose, where every breath echoes with the intent of heaven. This is the power of prayer and fasting, a realm where the natural meets the supernatural and the earth is transformed by spiritual forces. Prayer and fasting are not mere religious rituals, they are potent instruments that shape the course of human events. They are the divine mechanisms through which heaven intervenes on earth. When we pray, we are not just speaking words into the air, we are aligning our will with the will of God, inviting His kingdom to manifest in our reality. Each prayer becomes a conduit for divine intervention, bridging the gap between the finite and the infinite. Fasting, on the other hand, is an act of surrender and submission. It is a powerful declaration that our reliance is not on the physical, but on the spiritual. When we fast, we are denying our flesh to elevate our spirit, positioning ourselves to receive divine insights and guidance. This denial of earthly comforts does not go unnoticed in the spiritual realm. It stirs the heavens and commands the attention of God. Consider the profound impact of these practices on earth. They bring about shifts in the spiritual atmosphere that translate into tangible changes in our world. Nations are transformed, communities are renewed, and individuals are healed. This is not merely coincidence, it is the direct result of spiritual alignment with the divine will. Prayer and fasting invite God's influence into our situations, setting the stage for miracles and breakthroughs. In the Bible, we see numerous instances where prayer and fasting brought about monumental changes. When Daniel prayed and fasted, he received divine revelations that impacted the entire kingdom. When Esther called for a fast, it led to the salvation of her people. These examples are not ancient stories, they are blueprints for us to follow. They show us that when we engage in prayer and fasting, we tap into a divine power that alters the very fabric of our reality. Our prayers and fasts have the power to influence governments, economies, and personal destinies. They are the spiritual force that shifts the balance of power and brings about justice, peace, and prosperity. As we commit ourselves to these practices, we become instruments of change, shaping our world according to the divine plan. So let us embrace prayer and fasting with a renewed understanding of their significance. Let us approach them not as mere rituals, but as powerful tools that bring heaven's influence to earth. As we pray and fast, let us do so with the confidence that we are aligning ourselves with a higher purpose, one that has the power to transform our world in ways beyond our imagination. Divine alignment is the profound synchronization of our will with the will of God through the practices of prayer and fasting. It is not a mere coincidence or an abstract concept. It is the foundational mechanism that enables us to invite heavenly influence into our earthly existence. When we engage in prayer, we are not just articulating our desires and concerns, we are positioning ourselves in harmony with God's divine plan. This alignment creates a spiritual resonance that allows us to receive divine guidance, direction, and intervention. Through prayer, we open a channel of communication with God, allowing His will to become our guiding force. This process involves more than just speaking words. It requires a heartfelt commitment to understanding and embracing God's purpose for our lives. As we align our desires with His will, we become vessels through which His divine intentions can manifest on earth. Fasting intensifies this alignment by stripping away the distractions and desires of the flesh, focusing our attention solely on the spiritual realm. When we fast, we are making a deliberate choice to prioritize our relationship with God above our physical needs. This act of surrender and sacrifice amplifies our spiritual sensitivity, making us more receptive to divine direction. It is in this state of heightened spiritual awareness that we are best positioned to align our actions with God's will. The impact of divine alignment is transformative. It shifts our perspective from a self-centered approach to a God-centered one, enabling us to see and act upon the opportunities and challenges that align with divine purpose. This realignment not only changes our individual lives, but also influences the broader world around us. When we are in harmony with God's will, our prayers become more effective, our decisions more aligned with His plans, and our actions more likely to produce the outcomes He desires. In essence, divine alignment through prayer and fasting is a powerful catalyst for change. It transforms our personal lives by aligning our goals and aspirations with divine purpose and extends its influence to the world, allowing God's will to shape the course of human events. This alignment ensures that our actions, decisions, and intentions are not merely based on our own understanding, but are guided by the infinite wisdom and power of God. Spiritual authority is the God-given power and influence that believers possess through their relationship with Him, particularly when they engage in prayer and fasting. This authority is not about dominance over others, but about the ability to exercise God's power and will on earth. It is the divine right and responsibility bestowed upon us to act as representatives of God's kingdom, shaping and directing earthly affairs according to His purposes. When we engage in prayer, we tap into this spiritual authority by aligning ourselves with God's will and inviting His intervention in our lives and the world around us. Prayer is more than just a form of communication. It is an exercise of authority. Through prayer, we assert our right to influence the spiritual realm, commanding changes that manifest in the physical world. This authority allows us to address and overcome challenges, initiate blessings, and bring about transformation that aligns with God's divine plan. Fasting further enhances this spiritual authority by deepening our connection with God. As we abstain from physical sustenance, we focus our spirit on the divine, increasing our capacity to receive and wield spiritual power. This heightened spiritual state enables us to perceive and respond to God's guidance more effectively. In this state, our authority is not based on human strength or wisdom, but on the divine power that flows through our aligned will and committed spirit. Spiritual authority empowers believers to confront and overcome spiritual obstacles. It equips us to stand firm against adversities, exercise faith-filled actions, and bring about divine outcomes in our personal lives and communities. This authority is evidenced by the changes that occur when we pray and fast, healing in bodies, resolution in conflicts, and breakthroughs in seemingly insurmountable situations. Moreover, spiritual authority has a ripple effect. When individuals exercise their authority in alignment with God's will, they influence not only their immediate surroundings, but also broader societal structures. This influence can lead to societal reforms, improved relationships, and collective spiritual awakening. The authority given through prayer and fasting enables believers to impact governments, organizations, and cultures, advancing God's kingdom on earth. In essence, spiritual authority is the active power we hold as believers to effect change in accordance with God's will. It is the divine empowerment to shape our world, overcome obstacles, and bring forth His kingdom's realities. Through prayer and fasting, we access and exercise this authority, becoming agents of transformation and reflecting God's power and purpose in all areas of life. The intervention of heaven is a profound and transformative concept that underscores how prayer and fasting create a divine conduit between the celestial and the earthly realms. This intervention is not a passive occurrence, but an active engagement of God's power and will in our lives and on earth. When we pray and fast, we open the doors for heaven to engage directly with our circumstances, bringing about change and transformation that transcend human limitations. Prayer serves as a direct line of communication with God, allowing us to present our needs, desires, and concerns. Through this communication, we invite God's presence and influence into our lives. Prayer is more than just a request for help. It is an invitation for divine intervention. It acknowledges that we are dependent on God's power to alter our situations, solve problems, and bring about miracles. When we pray with faith and sincerity, we activate the mechanisms through which heaven responds to our earthly needs. Fasting amplifies this effect by intensifying our spiritual focus and commitment. It is an act of humbling ourselves before God, demonstrating our earnestness and devotion. By fasting, we signify our deep reliance on divine intervention rather than on our own efforts. This act of surrender creates a heightened spiritual environment where God's power is more readily manifested. As we deny ourselves physical sustenance, we make space for God to fill our lives with His presence and power. The intervention of heaven through prayer and fasting can manifest in various ways. It may result in miraculous healing, unexpected provision, or resolution of complex problems. It can bring about breakthroughs in personal struggles, restore relationships, or provide guidance in times of uncertainty. Each of these manifestations is a direct outcome of heaven's active involvement in our earthly affairs. Furthermore, heaven's intervention extends beyond individual needs. It can influence entire communities, regions, or even nations. When collective prayer and fasting occur, the spiritual atmosphere is altered, creating a divine opportunity for societal transformation. This collective engagement invites heaven's intervention on a larger scale, leading to positive changes in governance, social justice, and overall well-being. Ultimately, the intervention of heaven is a testament to the power of divine influence in our world. It demonstrates that through prayer and fasting, we are not merely engaging in religious practices, but are actively participating in the unfolding of God's plans and purposes. By creating a spiritual alignment with divine will, we enable heaven to operate within our lives and our world, bringing about the change and transformation that only divine intervention can achieve. The transformation of the atmosphere through prayer and fasting is a powerful and often overlooked aspect of spiritual influence. This transformation involves more than just a change in physical surroundings. It encompasses a profound shift in the spiritual and emotional climate that affects individuals, communities, and even nations. When we engage in prayer, we are actively altering the spiritual environment around us. Prayer creates a channel for divine energy and presence to enter into our circumstances, shifting the spiritual atmosphere from one of chaos and confusion to one of peace and clarity. This change is not limited to our immediate surroundings, but extends to the broader environment, influencing the overall spiritual climate in which we live and operate. Fasting enhances this transformation by focusing our spiritual energies and heightening our sensitivity to the divine. As we deny ourselves physical comforts and direct our attention solely toward God, we create a more intense and receptive spiritual atmosphere. This concentrated spiritual focus has the power to clear away distractions, diminish negative influences, and invite a greater presence of divine power into our lives and environments. The impact of this transformation is significant. On a personal level, it can bring about a profound inner peace, clarity of mind, and spiritual renewal. As the atmosphere around us shifts, we find ourselves better equipped to handle challenges, make decisions, and align with our divine purpose. This internal transformation often leads to external changes as our newfound peace and clarity influence our interactions and decisions, leading to more harmonious relationships and effective problem solving. On a communal level, the transformation of the atmosphere through collective prayer and fasting can lead to broader social and cultural shifts. When a group of people comes together in spiritual unity, their collective prayers and fasting can alter the spiritual climate of their community, creating an environment conducive to positive change. This can result in increased cooperation, improved social justice, and a general uplift in the community's morale and well-being. Furthermore, this transformation can extend to a national or global scale. When nations or regions engage in prayer and fasting, they can influence the broader spiritual atmosphere of their land. This collective spiritual engagement can lead to shifts in governance, societal norms, and collective behavior, fostering environments where divine principles of justice, peace, and prosperity can flourish. In essence, the transformation of the atmosphere through prayer and fasting is a dynamic process that reshapes the spiritual and emotional environment, creating conditions where divine influence can manifest. It demonstrates that our spiritual practices have the power to effect real and tangible change, not only in our personal lives, but also in the broader world around us. By transforming the spiritual atmosphere, we make way for God's presence to operate more fully, bringing about the divine outcomes and blessings that He intends for us. Empowerment through sacrifice is a profound principle that underscores the transformative power of prayer and fasting. It reveals that the act of sacrificing physical needs and comforts can lead to a deep spiritual empowerment that influences both our personal lives and the world around us. When we engage in fasting, we are voluntarily setting aside physical sustenance and other earthly comforts to focus more intensely on our spiritual relationship with God. This act of denial is not merely about abstaining from food. It is a deliberate and conscious choice to prioritize our spiritual needs over our physical desires. Through this sacrifice, we demonstrate our willingness to forego immediate gratifications for the sake of a greater spiritual gain. This act of surrender is a powerful expression of faith and commitment, and it opens the door to divine empowerment. The empowerment through sacrifice manifests in several ways. Firstly, it enhances our spiritual sensitivity. By removing physical distractions and focusing solely on God, we create a heightened state of awareness that allows us to perceive divine guidance more clearly. This increased spiritual sensitivity equips us to discern God's will, make wiser decisions, and respond to challenges with greater clarity and effectiveness. Additionally, sacrifice through fasting builds spiritual strength and resilience. As we endure the discomforts associated with fasting, we develop a greater capacity to withstand trials and overcome obstacles. This strengthened resolve empowers us to face difficulties with a sense of divine purpose and confidence, knowing that we have tapped into a higher source of strength and support. Empowerment through sacrifice also brings about a deepened connection with God. The sacrifice of our physical needs signifies a profound commitment to our spiritual journey, fostering a closer relationship with the divine. This intimacy with God allows us to draw from His infinite resources and power, enabling us to influence our surroundings with greater effectiveness. When we are spiritually empowered, our prayers become more potent, our actions more aligned with divine purpose, and our influence more impactful. Moreover, this empowerment extends beyond individual experiences. When groups or communities engage in collective fasting and sacrifice, the collective spiritual strength can lead to broader societal transformations. The unified commitment to spiritual growth and divine alignment can result in a more harmonious and just community, as the shared sacrifice creates a stronger, more resilient spiritual foundation. In essence, empowerment through sacrifice is about recognizing that our willingness to let go of the temporary and the physical opens the door to profound spiritual empowerment. Through prayer and fasting, we embrace a higher realm of divine influence, equipping ourselves with the strength, clarity, and guidance necessary to effect meaningful change in our lives and the world. This empowerment is a testament to the transformative power of sacrifice, showing that by prioritizing our spiritual needs, we access a greater dimension of divine power and purpose. The historical impact of prayer and fasting is a testament to their transformative power across time and cultures. These spiritual practices have not only shaped individual lives, but have also played pivotal roles in influencing entire nations and civilizations. The records of history reveal that significant events and movements have often been precipitated by collective or individual acts of prayer and fasting, underscoring their profound impact on the course of human affairs. Throughout history, prayer and fasting have been catalysts for monumental changes. In biblical times, figures such as Daniel, Esther, and Nehemiah utilized these practices to seek divine intervention and guidance. Daniel's prayer and fasting led to divine revelations that influenced the course of kingdoms, while Esther's call for a fast saved her people from impending destruction. These instances are not isolated, they serve as historical precedents, showing how prayer and fasting can lead to deliverance, revelation, and transformation. In the early Christian church, prayer and fasting were instrumental in the spread of the gospel and the growth of the early Christian community. The apostles and early believers engaged in these practices to seek divine direction, empowerment, and protection. This spiritual foundation allowed them to overcome persecution, establish new churches, and spread the message of Christianity across vast regions. Throughout the ages, various reform movements and societal changes have also been influenced by prayer and fasting. For instance, during the Reformation, leaders in communities prayed and fasted for spiritual renewal and guidance. This collective seeking of God's will led to significant changes in religious practices and structures, impacting the course of Western civilization. More recently, in modern history, prayer and fasting have continued to shape global events. During times of crisis, such as natural disasters or political upheavals, people have turned to prayer and fasting as a means of seeking divine intervention and guidance. These practices have led to remarkable stories of resilience, recovery, and transformation, illustrating their enduring power to effect change. The historical impact of prayer and fasting also extends to social justice movements. Leaders and communities engaged in prayer and fasting to seek justice, equality, and societal reform. The civil rights movement, for example, saw individuals and groups praying and fasting as a way to seek divine intervention for justice and equality. Their spiritual commitment played a role in shaping public consciousness and driving societal change. In essence, the historical impact of prayer and fasting demonstrates their profound ability to influence the course of human events. These practices have been instrumental in seeking divine guidance, affecting societal transformations, and achieving significant milestones throughout history. They remind us that through sincere spiritual engagement, we can tap into a higher power that transcends the ordinary and brings about extraordinary outcomes in our lives and the world around us. The influence of prayer and fasting on nations is a powerful demonstration of how spiritual practices can shape the destiny of entire countries and regions. When communities and nations engage in these practices, they tap into a divine source of guidance and intervention that can lead to profound national transformations. The impact of prayer and fasting extends beyond personal spiritual growth to effectuate changes in governance, societal norms, and national direction. Historically, nations that have committed to prayer and fasting have often experienced shifts in their political and social landscapes. When large groups of people or entire nations come together in prayer and fasting, they create a collective spiritual force that can attract divine favor and influence. This collective engagement invites God's guidance and intervention on a national scale, often leading to significant changes in the direction of the country. For example, in times of national crisis or turmoil, prayer and fasting have been employed as tools for seeking divine intervention and guidance. During periods of war, economic hardship, or political instability, nations have turned to these practices as a means of invoking divine help and realigning themselves with higher principles. The unity and faith expressed through such national prayers and fasts can lead to remarkable outcomes, including peace treaties, economic recovery, and political stability. Additionally, prayer and fasting have played a role in shaping national policies and governance. When leaders and citizens engage in these practices, they often seek divine wisdom for decision-making. This spiritual seeking can lead to policies that reflect higher moral and ethical standards, promoting justice, equity, and prosperity. For instance, national movements for social justice and reform have sometimes been sparked or sustained by collective prayer and fasting, which align public consciousness with divine principles of righteousness and fairness. The influence of prayer and fasting can also be seen in the broader cultural and societal changes within nations. As communities and nations commit to spiritual practices, they often experience shifts in societal values and norms. This can lead to a cultural climate that fosters greater compassion, integrity, and collaboration. Societal changes driven by spiritual influence can enhance social cohesion, improve relationships among diverse groups, and build a more harmonious national community. Furthermore, nations that engage in prayer and fasting may experience a heightened sense of unity and purpose. These practices bring people together across various divides, fostering a collective sense of identity and mission. This unity can translate into more effective and coordinated efforts to address national challenges and pursue common goals. In essence, the influence of prayer and fasting on nations demonstrates the profound power of spiritual practices to effectuate large-scale changes. By engaging in collective prayer and fasting, nations can invite divine intervention, realign their governance and societal norms with higher principles, and foster a unified and prosperous community. These practices remind us that spiritual engagement has the potential to shape the destiny of nations, guiding them towards greater justice, peace, and fulfillment. Healing and restoration are powerful outcomes of prayer and fasting, reflecting their deep spiritual and practical impact on individuals and communities. These practices go beyond addressing immediate needs. They initiate profound processes of recovery and renewal that touch every aspect of life. When we engage in prayer, we connect with God on a profound level, inviting His healing power into our lives. Prayer is not merely a request for relief, but an act of faith that opens the door for divine intervention. Through prayer, we seek God's healing touch for physical ailments, emotional wounds, and spiritual issues. This divine connection allows us to receive strength, comfort, and restoration, facilitating healing that transcends human capabilities. Fasting amplifies this healing process by creating a focused and receptive spiritual environment. When we fast, we deny ourselves physical nourishment to emphasize our reliance on spiritual sustenance. This act of sacrifice demonstrates our earnest desire for divine intervention and opens us up to a deeper experience of God's presence. In this state of spiritual humility, we become more attuned to God's healing power, allowing it to work more effectively in our lives. The healing that comes through prayer and fasting is comprehensive. Physically, individuals often experience relief from chronic illnesses, improved health, and vitality. The act of fasting can also contribute to physical healing by detoxifying the body and restoring balance. Emotionally, prayer and fasting provide a means of addressing deep-seated issues such as stress, anxiety, and depression. The comfort and guidance received through these practices can lead to emotional stability and renewed hope. Spiritually, prayer and fasting facilitate a process of inner healing and restoration. They allow individuals to confront and release past hurts, sins, and unresolved issues. This spiritual cleansing paves the way for a renewed relationship with God, fostering growth and transformation. The restoration of spiritual well-being brings about a sense of purpose, direction, and fulfillment that empowers individuals to live in alignment with divine intentions. On a communal level, prayer and fasting can lead to collective healing and restoration. When communities or nations engage in these practices, they invite divine intervention on a larger scale, addressing issues such as social strife, injustice, and division. The unity and focus brought about by collective prayer and fasting create an environment conducive to healing societal wounds and restoring harmony. Moreover, the principles of healing and restoration extend to relationships. Prayer and fasting can mend broken relationships, fostering reconciliation and understanding. As individuals and communities engage in these practices, they often experience a deepening of connections, greater forgiveness, and improved interpersonal dynamics. In essence, healing and restoration through prayer and fasting reflect their transformative power in addressing physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. These practices facilitate a profound connection with God, allowing His healing power to permeate our lives and communities. Through prayer and fasting, we invite divine intervention that brings about comprehensive recovery and renewal, impacting every facet of our existence and fostering a deeper sense of well-being and wholeness. Strategic guidance is a crucial benefit of prayer and fasting, revealing how these spiritual practices can provide divine direction and clarity in navigating life's complexities. When individuals and communities commit to prayer and fasting, they align themselves with God's wisdom, receiving strategic insights that can significantly impact their decisions and actions. In prayer, we engage in a dialogue with God, seeking His guidance and wisdom. This practice is not just about presenting our needs, but also about listening for divine direction. Through prayer, we invite God to illuminate our paths, offering insights that surpass human understanding. This divine counsel provides clarity on decisions, helps us discern the right course of action, and reveals the best strategies for addressing challenges. When we seek God's guidance, we access a perspective that sees beyond immediate circumstances, offering a broader view of our situation and future possibilities. Fasting complements this process by enhancing our spiritual sensitivity and focus. As we abstain from physical sustenance and direct our attention more fully towards God, we create a heightened state of receptivity. This spiritual focus allows us to hear more clearly and discern more accurately the guidance that God provides. Fasting sharpens our ability to receive divine insights, making us more attuned to the subtle promptings and directions from the Holy Spirit. The strategic guidance obtained through prayer and fasting is multifaceted. On a personal level, it can help individuals make crucial life decisions, such as career choices, relationship commitments, or financial investments. By aligning ourselves with divine wisdom, we make decisions that are not only beneficial for our immediate circumstances, but are also in line with God's greater plan for our lives. On a broader scale, strategic guidance through prayer and fasting can influence organizational and societal decisions. Leaders who engage in these practices often gain insight into the most effective strategies for managing organizations, addressing social issues, or guiding communities. This divine direction can lead to innovative solutions, effective policies, and impactful initiatives that drive positive change. Moreover, strategic guidance is essential during times of crisis or uncertainty. When faced with complex situations or significant challenges, prayer and fasting provide a means of accessing divine wisdom that can lead to resolution and breakthrough. In moments of confusion or difficulty, these practices offer clarity and direction, enabling individuals and leaders to navigate through adversity with confidence and faith. In essence, strategic guidance through prayer and fasting demonstrates the profound impact these practices can have on decision-making and problem-solving. By seeking divine wisdom and creating a focused spiritual environment, we gain access to insights and strategies that transcend human limitations. This guidance empowers us to make informed decisions, address challenges effectively, and align our actions with a higher purpose, ultimately leading to more successful and fulfilling outcomes in our personal lives and broader societal engagements. The manifestation of miracles is a powerful testament to the profound impact that prayer and fasting can have on our lives and the world around us. These practices serve as conduits for divine intervention, facilitating extraordinary occurrences that transcend natural laws and human capabilities. When we engage in prayer and fasting, we create a spiritual environment that is ripe for the manifestation of God's miraculous power. Prayer is a direct line of communication with God, and through it we seek His intervention in our lives. It is an expression of faith and a request for divine action. When we pray, especially with earnestness and conviction, we invite God's supernatural influence into our circumstances. This divine engagement can lead to miracles, transformative events that defy human explanation and demonstrate the power of God. These miracles can manifest in various forms, including physical healing, financial provision, restored relationships, and other extraordinary breakthroughs. Fasting enhances this process by intensifying our spiritual focus and devotion. As we abstain from physical needs and concentrate our attention on God, we create a heightened state of spiritual receptivity. This focused devotion aligns our hearts and minds with divine purposes, increasing our capacity to witness and experience miracles. The act of fasting signifies our willingness to sacrifice the temporal for the eternal, making us more open to receiving and recognizing God's miraculous work. The manifestation of miracles through prayer and fasting often addresses profound needs and challenges. For instance, individuals who face serious health issues may experience unexpected healing as a result of their fervent prayers and fasting. Similarly, financial difficulties or relational breakdowns can be resolved through divine intervention, providing solutions that surpass human expectations. These miracles are not mere coincidences, but are seen as direct responses to the faith and dedication expressed through prayer and fasting. On a larger scale, the collective prayer and fasting of communities or nations can lead to miraculous societal transformations. When entire groups engage in these practices, they create a powerful spiritual force that can bring about significant changes in social, political, and economic realms. Historical examples show how collective prayer and fasting have led to peace in times of war, resolution of deep-seated conflicts, and positive shifts in societal structures. The manifestation of miracles also serves to strengthen faith and inspire others. Witnessing or experiencing miracles reinforces the belief in God's power and faithfulness, encouraging individuals and communities to trust in His ability to act in extraordinary ways. This enhanced faith can lead to a greater willingness to engage in prayer and fasting, creating a cycle of spiritual growth and divine intervention. In essence, the manifestation of miracles through prayer and fasting highlights their profound ability to invite and facilitate divine action. These practices create an environment where God's miraculous power can be displayed, resulting in extraordinary outcomes that address deep needs and challenges. By engaging in prayer and fasting, we align ourselves with divine purposes, opening the door to the miraculous and experiencing the transformative power of God in our lives and the world around us. In conclusion, the influence of prayer and fasting on the earth is both profound and transformative. These sacred practices unlock divine intervention, bringing about changes that touch every aspect of our lives and the world around us. Through prayer, we invite God's presence and guidance into our circumstances, seeking His wisdom, healing, and miraculous power. Fasting, by focusing our spiritual energies, heightens our receptivity to divine direction and strengthens our connection with God. The combined power of prayer and fasting affects individuals by providing clarity, empowerment, and restoration. It influences communities by fostering unity and addressing collective challenges. On a national scale, these practices have led to societal shifts and transformations, demonstrating their capacity to guide and renew entire nations. The manifestation of miracles through prayer and fasting further illustrates their ability to bring about extraordinary outcomes that defy natural limits. Ultimately, prayer and fasting are not mere rituals, but dynamic spiritual tools that align us with divine purposes and open the door to God's transformative influence. As we engage in these practices with sincerity and faith, we become active participants in the unfolding of God's plans, experiencing His power in ways that change lives, communities, and the course of history. Through prayer and fasting, we harness the divine potential to influence the earth, fulfilling our roles as agents of change and witnesses to the miraculous. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a matter of great significance in our lives: how often we find ourselves ensnared in the web of other people's opinions. We are living in an age where the voices of others can overwhelm our sense of self-worth and direction. But I am here to tell you that you must stop caring what others think of you. The great tragedy of our time is that many are imprisoned by the approval or disapproval of others. We spend so much time seeking validation, tailoring our lives to fit the expectations of others, that we lose sight of our true selves. We must understand that our value and purpose are not determined by external validation, but by our own understanding of who we are in the eyes of God. When you let the opinions of others dictate your actions, you surrender your autonomy and give away your power. You are a unique creation endowed with purpose and potential that only you can fulfill. Each one of us is endowed with a divine mandate, and it is our responsibility to walk in that calling regardless of the clamor of voices around us. Think of the great leaders and visionaries of history. Did they not face criticism and opposition? Did they not encounter naysayers who tried to stifle their dreams? But what made them great was their refusal to be swayed by the judgments of others. They understood that their mission was greater than the opinions of the masses. They knew that their value was intrinsic, not contingent upon the fluctuating approval of the crowd. Now, it is vital to remember that this does not mean we disregard all counsel or reject all feedback. Wisdom and discernment are critical. But the difference lies in the source of our affirmation. Our primary source of affirmation must come from our relationship with God, not from the shifting sands of human opinion. Embrace who you are and walk boldly in your purpose. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. God has placed in you a vision, a mission, and a destiny that is uniquely yours. When you allow yourself to be governed by the opinions of others, you are diminishing the greatness that God has instilled in you. In the end, the only opinion that truly matters is God's. His love for you is unconditional and unchanging. His purpose for you is eternal. So stand firm in your identity, pursue your purpose with passion, and let the opinions of others fall away like dust. Stop caring what others think of you, and instead focus on being who God has called you to be. Your life is a testimony of His greatness, and it is your responsibility to live it fully and fearlessly. Let your confidence be rooted in His approval, and you will find the freedom to live the life you were destined to live. Your intrinsic value is the understanding that your worth is inherent and not contingent upon the opinions or judgments of others. It is a fundamental truth that each person possesses an inherent dignity and worth simply by virtue of being created. When you recognize and embrace this concept, you realize that no external validation or criticism can alter your intrinsic value. This intrinsic value is rooted in the belief that you are uniquely designed and purposeful. You were crafted with intention and care by a higher power, and this divine craftsmanship endows you with an inherent worth that is not subject to the shifting tides of societal approval. Understanding this truth allows you to stand firm in your identity. regardless of whether others recognize or affirm it. In practical terms, recognizing your intrinsic value means you no longer need to seek validation from others to feel complete or worthy. Your confidence and self-esteem are anchored in the knowledge that you are valuable in your own right. This self-assuredness empowers you to pursue your goals and live authentically without being derailed by the fluctuating opinions of those around you. When you fully grasp your intrinsic value, you free yourself from the need to conform to others' expectations or to be swayed by their criticisms. Instead, you focus on fulfilling your purpose and living according to your own principles and convictions. This inner strength and clarity come from understanding that your worth is unchanging and independent of others' perceptions. By embracing your intrinsic value, you step into a place of profound freedom and self-assurance. You no longer measure your worth against others' standards or seek their approval to feel good about yourself. Instead, you walk in the confidence that you are enough just as you are, and that your worth is established by a higher power rather than the shifting opinions of the world. Self-awareness is the profound understanding and acceptance of who you are at your core. It involves recognizing your strengths, weaknesses, values, and purpose, and it is crucial for living a life aligned with your true self rather than merely conforming to external expectations. Self-awareness is more than just a superficial understanding. It's a deep introspective process that allows you to see yourself clearly, beyond the influence of others' opinions. To achieve self-awareness, you must engage in honest self-reflection. This means taking time to evaluate your own beliefs, desires, and motivations. Ask yourself fundamental questions about what drives you, what you value most, and what goals are truly important to you. Through this introspection, you uncover the essence of who you are and gain clarity on your true purpose. Self-awareness also involves recognizing and accepting your unique qualities. This means understanding your strengths in areas where you might need growth and embracing these aspects without judgment. It is about appreciating your individuality and acknowledging that your personal attributes and experiences shape who you are. By becoming self-aware, you develop a stronger sense of identity and purpose. You are less likely to be swayed by others' opinions because you have a clear understanding of your own values and objectives. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you become more resilient to external pressures and less reliant on the validation of others. Self-awareness also fosters authenticity. It allows you to live in alignment with your true self rather than presenting a facade to meet others' expectations. This authenticity leads to greater satisfaction and fulfillment because you are living in accordance with your genuine self. In practical terms, self-awareness helps you make decisions that are true to your values and aspirations. It enables you to set boundaries, pursue goals that resonate with you, and engage in relationships and activities that support your personal growth. Ultimately, self-awareness empowers you to live a more intentional and meaningful life. It provides you with the confidence to act in ways that are true to who you are, rather than being influenced by others' perceptions. When you are self-aware, you create a life that reflects your authentic self and aligns with your deepest values and aspirations. Freedom from approval means liberating yourself from the constant need for validation and acceptance from others. It involves breaking free from the dependency on external affirmations to feel valued, worthy, or successful. When you achieve this freedom, you no longer allow the opinions, judgments, or expectations of others to dictate your actions or self-worth. This freedom begins with the realization that true contentment and self-esteem come from within, not from external sources. It requires shifting your focus from seeking approval to cultivating self-acceptance and confidence. By understanding that your value is inherent and not contingent upon others' opinions, you free yourself from the pressure to conform to others' standards or to earn their approval. Living without the need for constant approval means embracing your individuality and making choices that reflect your authentic self. It involves standing firm in your beliefs, values, and goals, even if they differ from what others expect or endorse. This autonomy allows you to pursue your passions and ambitions without being derailed by the fear of disapproval or criticism. Freedom from approval also empowers you to take risks and explore new opportunities. When you are not bound by the need for validation, you are more willing to step outside your comfort zone and pursue endeavors that align with your personal vision, rather than those that merely seek to impress or gain acceptance from others. This liberation also enhances your resilience. When you are not reliant on others' opinions for your sense of self-worth, you become less affected by criticism and rejection. You develop a stronger sense of inner confidence and emotional stability, which enables you to navigate challenges and setbacks with greater ease. In practical terms, freedom from approval involves setting boundaries and prioritizing your own values and goals. It means making decisions based on what is right for you, rather than what will garner external praise or approval. It also involves embracing feedback constructively without letting it overshadow your own sense of purpose and identity. Ultimately, this freedom leads to a more authentic and fulfilling life. By freeing yourself from the need for approval, you create space to fully express your true self and to live in alignment with your deepest values and aspirations. This self-directed approach to living fosters a deeper sense of satisfaction and personal fulfillment, as you are no longer confined by the constraints of seeking others' approval. Historical examples provide powerful illustrations of how individuals who remain true to their convictions, despite facing criticism and opposition, achieved greatness and made a significant impact. These examples highlight the importance of staying true to one's purpose and vision, even when it goes against the grain of societal expectations or encounters resistance. Consider the life of Nelson Mandela. Throughout his struggle against apartheid, Mandela faced immense opposition, including imprisonment and public criticism. Yet, he remained steadfast in his commitment to justice and equality. His resilience and unwavering dedication to his cause, despite the harsh criticism and obstacles he encountered, ultimately led to the dismantling of apartheid and the establishment of a democratic South Africa. Mandela's legacy underscores how staying true to one's principles, regardless of external judgment, can bring about monumental change. Consider also the example of Martin Luther, the theologian who challenged the Roman Catholic Church's practices during the Reformation. Martin Luther's 95 theses were met with fierce opposition from church authorities and faced severe personal risk. Nonetheless, his commitment to his convictions led to significant religious and societal transformations, shaping the course of Christian history. Luther's resolve to stand firm in his beliefs, despite substantial opposition, highlights the impact of remaining true to one's vision. The life of Rosa Parks offers another compelling example. Parks' refusal to give up her seat on a segregated bus sparked the Montgomery bus boycott and became a symbol of the civil rights movement. Despite facing threats and hostility, her quiet but powerful act of defiance became a catalyst for change. Parks' courage to stand firm in her beliefs and actions, despite facing societal pressures, demonstrates how individual resolve can drive significant social progress. These historical figures exemplify the power of remaining committed to one's principles and vision, regardless of the criticism or challenges faced. Their stories remind us that true greatness often requires standing against the tide of public opinion and remaining dedicated to one's mission. Their legacies offer inspiration for anyone seeking to make a meaningful impact while staying true to their own values and purpose. Wisdom and discernment are crucial qualities that guide us in navigating life's complexities and making sound decisions. Wisdom involves a deep understanding and insight that comes from experience, reflection, and learning. It is the ability to apply knowledge in practical and effective ways, and it often requires a broader perspective and understanding of life's principles and truths. Discernment, on the other hand, is the capacity to judge well and to distinguish between what is right and wrong, beneficial and harmful, true and false. It involves a keen sense of perception and the ability to make informed decisions based on careful consideration and insight. Discernment helps us to see beyond superficial appearances and to grasp the deeper truths that inform our choices. In the context of stopping the need for approval from others, wisdom and discernment become especially vital. They allow us to evaluate feedback and opinions critically, differentiating between constructive advice that can help us grow and mere criticism that might be based on envy, misunderstanding, or personal biases. Wisdom helps us to understand the value of input while discerning its relevance and applicability to our own journey. Applying wisdom means recognizing when to accept or reject external opinions. It involves understanding that not all feedback is created equal and that some perspectives may be more aligned with your true values and goals than others. With wisdom, you can navigate the complexities of social interactions and professional environments while staying true to your own path. Discernment helps you to maintain clarity about your own identity and purpose. It involves making choices that reflect your authentic self rather than being swayed by external pressures. Discernment allows you to assess situations and relationships critically, helping you to engage with feedback in a way that supports your personal growth rather than detracts from it. Both wisdom and discernment also involve self-awareness and an understanding of your own values and goals. When you are clear about your own purpose and principles, you are better equipped to evaluate the relevance of others' opinions and to make decisions that align with your true self. Ultimately, wisdom and discernment empower you to make decisions that are consistent with your own values and aspirations, rather than being unduly influenced by the need for approval. They enable you to navigate life's challenges with confidence, knowing that your choices are guided by a deep understanding and a clear sense of purpose. Through wisdom and discernment, you create a life that is authentic and fulfilling, grounded in your own truth, rather than the fluctuating opinions of others. Divine purpose refers to the unique and inherent mission or calling that each individual is believed to have, as defined by a higher power or spiritual belief. It encompasses the idea that every person has a specific role or contribution they are meant to make in the world, guided by a sense of meaning and direction that transcends their own personal desires or societal expectations. Understanding your divine purpose involves recognizing that your life is part of a larger, more meaningful plan. It suggests that you are not merely existing or living aimlessly, but rather that you have been endowed with specific talents, passions, and potential to fulfill a greater mission. This purpose is often seen as aligning with your core values, strengths, and the impact you are meant to have on others in the world. Embracing your divine purpose requires a deep sense of self-awareness and connection to your inner calling. It involves reflecting on what truly resonates with you, what motivates you, and what you feel drawn to contribute. This process often includes prayer, meditation, or other forms of spiritual introspection to gain clarity on your path. Divine purpose also implies that you are equipped with unique gifts and abilities that are intended to be used for a greater good. These gifts are not just for personal benefit, but are meant to serve and uplift others. By understanding and pursuing your divine purpose, you align your actions with a sense of service and contribution, which can bring fulfillment and a sense of accomplishment. Living in accordance with your divine purpose requires courage and conviction. It means making choices that align with this sense of calling, even if they are challenging or unconventional. It involves pursuing goals and making decisions that reflect your deepest values and aspirations, rather than conforming to external pressures or seeking validation from others. When you are aligned with your divine purpose, you experience a profound sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. You find joy and meaning in your work and interactions because you are engaged in activities that resonate with your true self and contribute to a larger, meaningful goal. This alignment provides a sense of direction and motivation, guiding you through challenges and helping you to persevere in the face of obstacles. Ultimately, recognizing and embracing your divine purpose transforms how you approach life. It shifts your focus from seeking approval or external validation to fulfilling a deeper, more significant calling. This sense of purpose provides clarity, resilience, and a sense of belonging as you understand that your life is part of a grander design and that your contributions are valuable and necessary. Focusing on God's approval means orienting your life and actions around the values, principles, and purpose that align with divine guidance rather than seeking validation from others. It involves placing your primary sense of worth, direction, and motivation in the context of your spiritual beliefs and relationship with a higher power rather than in the fluctuating opinions of people around you. When you focus on God's approval, you shift your perspective from being influenced by external validation to being guided by a higher standard. This shift requires a deep understanding of what truly matters according to your faith and a commitment to living in accordance with those values. It means seeking to honor and please God in all aspects of your life, including your decisions, actions, and relationships. This focus on divine approval often begins with developing a strong personal connection with God through practices such as prayer, meditation, and studying sacred texts. These practices help you gain clarity on what is important to God and how you can align your life with these principles. It involves understanding God's teachings and applying them to your daily life, making decisions that reflect these teachings rather than conforming to societal expectations or pressures. Living for God's approval means that your sense of self-worth and fulfillment comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with divine purpose and guidance. It requires trust in the belief that God's perspective on your actions and character is more significant and enduring than any human judgment. This perspective provides a stable and unchanging foundation for your self-esteem, as it is not subject to the whims and opinions of others. Focusing on divine approval also involves making choices that reflect your faith, even when they are not popular or widely accepted. It means standing firm in your values and principles, even if they lead to criticism or misunderstanding from others. This focus provides the courage to act with integrity and to pursue paths that may not always align with conventional expectations, but are true to your spiritual convictions. Moreover, seeking God's approval encourages you to approach life with humility and gratitude. It helps you recognize that your achievements and successes are ultimately part of a greater plan, and that your role is to serve and contribute according to divine guidance. This approach fosters a sense of purpose and fulfillment, as you understand that your efforts are part of a larger, meaningful narrative. Ultimately, focusing on God's approval transforms how you experience life and interact with others. It allows you to maintain a sense of inner peace and confidence, knowing that you are aligned with a higher calling and that your worth is anchored in divine love and purpose. This focus guides you in making decisions and living a life that reflects your deepest values, leading to a profound sense of fulfillment and joy that comes from living authentically according to your faith. Confidence in identity is the profound assurance and self-acceptance that stems from a deep understanding and acceptance of who you are at your core. It involves a firm grasp of your unique qualities, values, and purpose, which allows you to navigate life with a sense of certainty and conviction. This confidence is not rooted in external validation, but is grounded in a clear and authentic understanding of your true self. Developing confidence in your identity begins with self-awareness. It requires introspection and reflection to uncover and appreciate your strengths, weaknesses, passions, and values. By exploring what truly resonates with you and understanding your inherent qualities, you build a foundation for a strong and authentic self-image. This self-awareness helps you to recognize your worth and to appreciate the unique attributes that make you who you are. Confidence in identity also means embracing and accepting yourself fully, including your imperfections and vulnerabilities. It involves acknowledging that you are a work in progress and that growth is a natural part of life. By accepting yourself as you are without harsh self-criticism or unrealistic expectations, you cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-assurance. This acceptance allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that you are enough just as you are. When you have confidence in your identity, you are less swayed by the opinions and judgments of others. You are grounded in your own values and beliefs, which provides a strong foundation for making decisions and pursuing goals. This internal confidence enables you to remain true to yourself even in the face of external pressures or criticism. You are less likely to compromise your principles or alter your behavior to gain approval, as your self-worth is anchored in your own understanding of who you are. Confidence in identity also empowers you to set and pursue goals that align with your true self. It allows you to follow your passions and interests with conviction, knowing that they are an expression of your authentic identity. This alignment between your goals and your sense of self brings a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose, as you are working towards aspirations that resonate with your core values and vision. Moreover, confidence in identity fosters resilience. When you are secure in your own sense of self, you are better equipped to handle challenges and setbacks. You have a strong inner foundation that helps you to stay motivated and focused even when faced with obstacles. This resilience is rooted in the belief that your identity and worth are not diminished by difficulties or failures, but are instead strengthened by your perseverance and growth. Ultimately, confidence in identity transforms how you experience and interact with the world. It enhances your ability to live authentically and make choices that reflect your true self. By being confident in your identity, you navigate life with a sense of purpose and direction, knowing that your value and worth are inherent and not dependent on external validation. This self-assurance fosters a sense of empowerment and fulfillment as you embrace your unique path and contribute to the world in a way that is true to who you are. Liberation from judgment involves freeing yourself from the constraints and anxieties associated with others' opinions and evaluations. It is about reclaiming your autonomy and self-worth from the impact of external judgments and criticisms, allowing you to live more authentically and confidently according to your own values and beliefs. The process of liberation from judgment begins with recognizing the extent to which others' opinions can influence your self-perception and decision-making. Often, people seek approval or fear criticism to the point where it shapes their behavior and choices. This dependency on external validation can lead to stress, self-doubt, and a compromised sense of self. Understanding that this influence is pervasive and can be limiting is the first step toward breaking free from it. To liberate yourself from judgment, it is essential to cultivate a strong sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance. This involves developing a clear understanding of who you are, what you value, and what you aspire to be. By grounding your self-worth in your own beliefs and values, rather than in the fluctuating opinions of others, you build a solid foundation for your identity. This self-awareness helps you to navigate life with greater confidence and resilience, as your actions and decisions are guided by your own principles rather than by the need for external approval. Another important aspect of liberation from judgment is setting healthy boundaries. This means recognizing when others' opinions are affecting you negatively and taking steps to protect your emotional well-being. Setting boundaries involves limiting exposure to critical or unsupportive individuals and choosing to engage with people who respect and uplift you. It also includes resisting the urge to seek validation or approval from others and instead focusing on internal sources of affirmation. Developing resilience against judgment requires shifting your mindset from a focus on others' opinions to a focus on personal growth and self-improvement. This involves embracing feedback constructively while discerning its relevance and applicability to your own goals and values. By focusing on your own growth and learning, rather than on how others perceive you, you foster a sense of empowerment and independence. Liberation from judgment also entails practicing self-compassion. Recognize that everyone faces criticism and judgment, and that these experiences do not define your worth or capabilities. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, acknowledging that making mistakes or facing criticism is part of the human experience. This self-compassion helps you to maintain a balanced perspective and to respond to judgment with resilience rather than defensiveness. Ultimately, liberating yourself from judgment transforms how you interact with the world and how you perceive yourself. It allows you to live more authentically, as you are no longer constrained by the need for approval or fear of criticism. This freedom empowers you to make choices that align with your true self and to pursue your goals and passions with greater confidence and joy. By focusing on your own values and beliefs, rather than on external judgments, you create a life that is more fulfilling and true to who you are. Fearlessness in purpose involves pursuing your goals and ambitions with unwavering determination and courage, even in the face of challenges, uncertainties, or opposition. It is characterized by a profound commitment to your vision or mission, driven by a clear understanding of your purpose and a resolute belief in its significance. This fearlessness allows you to confront obstacles, take risks, and overcome fears that might otherwise hinder your progress. Achieving fearlessness in purpose begins with a deep sense of clarity about what you are passionate about and why it matters to you. Understanding your purpose involves introspection and self-discovery, where you identify your core values, talents, and aspirations. This clarity provides a strong foundation for your efforts as it aligns your actions with your intrinsic motivations and long-term goals. With a clear sense of purpose, fearlessness emerges from the confidence that your pursuits are meaningful and worthwhile. When you are driven by a deep conviction about the importance of your goals, you are more willing to face adversity and persevere through difficulties. This conviction acts as a source of strength and resilience, enabling you to tackle challenges head-on and maintain focus despite setbacks. Fearlessness in purpose also involves embracing the possibility of failure and viewing it as an opportunity for growth rather than a deterrent. When you are fearless, you recognize that setbacks and failures are natural parts of the journey toward achieving your goals. This perspective helps you to approach challenges with a mindset of learning and improvement rather than letting fear of failure paralyze you. Moreover, fearlessness in purpose requires the courage to step out of your comfort zone and take risks. Pursuing a meaningful purpose often involves venturing into the unknown and facing uncertainties. By embracing these risks with courage, you open yourself up to new possibilities and opportunities for growth. This willingness to take bold steps, even when the outcome is uncertain, is a hallmark of fearlessness. This type of fearlessness also means resisting the influence of naysayers or critics who may discourage you from pursuing your purpose. When you are confident in your mission, you are less swayed by external opinions or negative feedback. Instead, you stay focused on your vision and remain committed to your path, regardless of others' doubts or criticisms. Furthermore, fearlessness in purpose involves maintaining a positive mindset and cultivating inner strength. This includes managing stress, staying motivated, and practicing self-care to sustain your energy and enthusiasm. By fostering a resilient and optimistic outlook, you are better equipped to handle the ups and downs of pursuing your goals and to continue moving forward with determination. Ultimately, fearlessness in purpose transforms how you approach your aspirations and challenges. It empowers you to pursue your goals with unwavering commitment, resilience, and confidence. By embracing your purpose with courage and determination, you create a life that is deeply fulfilling and aligned with your true values. This fearlessness enables you to navigate obstacles, take risks, and achieve meaningful success, all while staying true to your vision and passion. In conclusion, fearlessness and purpose is a powerful and transformative approach to achieving your goals and living a fulfilling life. By embracing a clear understanding of your purpose, you gain the confidence to confront challenges and pursue your ambitions with unwavering determination. This fearlessness enables you to navigate uncertainties, take bold risks, and persevere through setbacks, all while remaining steadfast in your commitment to your vision. As you cultivate this fearlessness, remember that it is fueled by a deep conviction in the significance of your purpose. It empowers you to move beyond the fear of failure and the opinions of others, allowing you to stay focused on what truly matters to you. By maintaining a positive mindset and embracing growth opportunities, you unlock your full potential and pave the way for meaningful achievements. Ultimately, living fearlessly in pursuit of your purpose not only leads to personal success, but also inspires those around you. It demonstrates the strength and courage required to follow one's true path and serves as a beacon of hope and resilience. Embrace your purpose with boldness and commitment, and you will find that the journey, though challenging, is deeply rewarding and aligned with your true self. There comes a time in life when people may rise against you, challenge your character, or even try to bring you down. But let me remind you, you are not just any person, you are chosen. You are an individual with purpose, and you carry within you a destiny that is greater than any negative force in this world. When people try to hurt you, deceive you, or manipulate you, they do not understand the power you hold. What they do not realize is that they are sowing seeds for their own harvest, one that they may not be able to escape. Karma is real. It's not some abstract concept. It is a universal principle, a law that cannot be broken. When people mess with you, they are sowing negative energy into the ground, and that very energy will come back to them multiplied. But here's the key. It is not your responsibility to deliver the consequences. You don't have to get caught up in their drama, fight back, or lower yourself to their level. No, your job is to stay focused on your purpose, keep walking in your path, and trust that what's meant for you will find you. Understand this: God never forgets what happens to his children. He sees all, and he ensures that justice is served, not in the way the world would expect, but in a way that is perfect and just. You see, your enemies are not battling against you. They are battling against God's plan for you. And when you remain faithful, when you hold your ground and keep your integrity, God steps in. He doesn't need your help to fight your battles. He is the one who will make sure that the person who thought they could destroy you will be the one who ends up facing the consequences of their actions. People are talking about the karma someone got for messing with you, not because they want to see harm come to anyone, but because they see the power in your life. They see the favor that follows you, the protection that surrounds you. And they see how every attempt to knock you down has only made you stronger. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to seek revenge or go out of your way to make sure they know they're wrong. All you need to do is trust in the process. Know that the seeds they planted will sprout, and you will continue to rise above it all. As you stand firm, knowing that your integrity, your faith, and your perseverance are the weapons that no one can take from you, you become a living testimony of what happens when you choose to let God handle the outcome. People will see that no weapon formed against you can prosper. They will watch as you are elevated, blessed, and favored, while those who sought to harm you are left to face the consequences of their own actions. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a victor in the eyes of God. So let them talk. Let them gossip. Let them think they have gotten the upper hand. But remember, your focus is on the bigger picture. Keep moving forward. Keep walking in your purpose. Let the karma come. It's not yours to deal with. Just know that what God has for you is greater than anything anyone can take away. And in the end, the world will know that it was not your power, but the power of God that made you unstoppable. There will always come a time in life when people rise up against you, challenge your character, or try to bring you down. It may come from those you least expect, those who once called you a friend, or even those you have helped along the way. It could be in the form of betrayal, deceit, gossip, or malicious actions aimed to harm your reputation or hinder your progress. But it is important to understand one undeniable truth. When people mess with you, it is not about you, it's about what they don't understand about you. They see the potential within you, they see the purpose on your life, and they feel threatened by what you are becoming. They might want to tear you down because they cannot comprehend the greatness that is destined for you. This is why it can hurt, why it can feel like a personal attack. But the moment you internalize their actions as a reflection of your worth or your future, you fall into a trap. You begin to measure your value based on the negative behavior of others, which is exactly what they want. When people try to tear you down, it is not because you are weak. It's because they fear the strength that you carry inside. It's because they are uncomfortable with the light that shines from you, the purpose that drives you forward, and the vision that you are living out. They know that you are capable of achieving more than they can comprehend, and rather than supporting you, they try to hold you back, often in ways that seem unfair or unjust. But here's the thing, their actions, their words, their negativity are not your responsibility. You do not have to respond in kind, lower yourself to their level, or try to prove anything to them. Their intentions are not your concern. What you need to focus on is the bigger picture. People will talk. They will gossip. They will judge and make assumptions based on what they think they know about you, but their words have no power unless you give them permission to hurt you. Instead of allowing them to influence how you see yourself, remember that their attacks are a reflection of their own fears, insecurities, and shortcomings. You are not defined by what they say or do. You are defined by the vision and purpose that God has placed within you. You are more than their petty attempts to tear you down. Keep moving forward, because what they do has no lasting power in your life unless you allow it to. When people talk about you, when they try to hurt you or damage your reputation, they're only revealing their own issues, not yours. They are showing the world what they are struggling with, their bitterness, jealousy, and fear. Your life, your purpose, your progress, and your integrity are the things that truly matter. What they say about you does not change the fact that you are chosen, called, and destined for greatness. Let their words be a reminder that you are on the right path. People talk because they see something in you. They see what they don't have, what they can't understand. Instead of allowing their words to hurt you, use them as fuel to propel you forward. The more they talk, the more you know that you are doing something right. Keep walking in your purpose, keep moving toward your destiny, and let the noise of others be nothing more than the background hum of your journey. You are bigger than their attacks, stronger than their words, and greater than their efforts to bring you down. You are not just any person. You are chosen, designed, and created with a unique purpose that no one else can fulfill. There is a reason you are here in this moment with the life you live, and it is far greater than anything the world can offer. Your journey is not a random series of events. It is a carefully orchestrated plan by the Creator Himself. From the moment you were born, you were given a destiny, a purpose that is unlike anyone else's, and no one can take that away from you. You are not simply going through life, you are living with intention, with a divine calling on your life. Your story is not the same as anyone else's. Your struggles, your triumphs, your vision, they are yours to shape and define. You are a vessel, an instrument for something greater than what the world can see right now. You may have faced hardships, trials, or even moments of doubt, but through it all, you are being refined, strengthened, and prepared for something extraordinary. People may not see the full picture, and often they may not even understand the weight of the purpose you carry. They see you now, but they don't see the vision that has been placed deep within your heart. They may not understand the depth of your dreams, the strength of your spirit, or the impact you are destined to have. That is not for them to know. That is something only you and God can fully grasp. The moments of silence, the times when you felt alone or misunderstood, were not wasted. They were the moments of preparation, shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Your purpose is so much bigger than the temporary challenges you face. The world may try to label you, limit you, or even throw obstacles in your way, but the truth is, they cannot define you, they cannot contain you. You have a divine calling that cannot be altered or diminished by the opinions or actions of others. You are like a seed that is being nurtured. Even when it feels like you are in the dark, you are growing, developing, and preparing for a harvest that will shock those who doubted you. They may try to put you in a box or tell you that you are not enough, but they don't know what God has placed inside you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. There is a unique brilliance that resides within you, a fire that can never be extinguished. And when you walk in your purpose, when you start to tap into the fullness of what you were created to do, there is no force on earth that can stop you. The challenges you face are not random. They are part of the process that refines you, that prepares you for the next level of your journey. Every moment you spend doubting yourself, questioning your worth, or thinking you are not enough is a moment wasted. You were made for greatness. The path you are on may not always be easy, but it is yours, and it is leading you exactly where you need to go. So never forget that you are chosen for a purpose that is unique to you and you alone. No one can take that from you. No one can alter the path you are meant to walk. They may not understand it. They may try to hold you back, but you were born with a destiny that cannot be undone. Stand tall, walk with confidence, and know that every step you take is one closer to fulfilling the incredible calling on your life. It's not about what others think or say. It's about you and the purpose that is uniquely yours. And that purpose is unstoppable. Karma is not just some philosophical or abstract concept that exists in the background of our lives. It is a law, a universal truth that operates whether we acknowledge it or not. The law of karma works like a boomerang. What you send out into the world, good or bad, always finds its way back to you. It doesn't matter if it takes days, weeks, or even years. The energy, the intentions, the actions that we put into the world will eventually return to us, and it will return with the same force and magnitude with which we sent it out. Those who try to harm others, who lie, deceive, betray, or manipulate, are sowing seeds into the soil of their own future. They may think they can get away with it, that no one will know, or that their actions will go unnoticed, but that is not how the law works. It is impossible to escape the energy you put out, and eventually it must return. For those who have wronged you, the consequences of their actions are inevitable. Even if you don't see them immediately, you don't need to worry about when or how it will happen, because it will happen. They will face the repercussions of the negativity they have put into the world. But it is important to understand that karma does not operate on your timeline. It doesn't require you to wait for the moment when your enemy falls. It does not require your involvement or input. All it requires is that you trust in the natural law of the universe and know that justice, although sometimes delayed, will come in its perfect time. You do not have to spend your energy watching over them, waiting for them to fall. That is not your job. Your job is to keep moving forward, keep focused on your purpose, and trust that the universe will take care of the rest. The beautiful thing about karma is that it works both ways. It is not just for those who harm you, it also rewards those who live with integrity, kindness, and purity of heart. Your actions, your good deeds, your efforts to help others, to lift others up, will also return to you in abundance. Karma is not just about punishment, it is about balance, fairness, and the return of the energy that you put into the world. When you live with good intentions, when you help those in need, when you act with honor and grace, that positive energy will come back to you tenfold. You don't have to chase success or happiness. When you operate from a place of integrity and kindness, it will find you. But for those who try to bring you down, who speak ill of you, or who plot against you, they are setting themselves up for a return they will not be able to escape. They may not recognize it now, they may not even believe in it, but what they are sowing today will come back to them in ways they cannot anticipate. The seeds they plant will eventually sprout, and they will reap the harvest of their own doing. That is the power of karma. It is an equalizer. It ensures that the scales of justice are balanced, that no harm goes unaccounted for, and that the energy you put into the world, whether positive or negative, is always returned. You don't have to waste your time seeking vengeance, trying to fix things or make sure they get what's coming to them. It's already been set into motion. When someone harms you, they are not only hurting you, they are setting the stage for their own downfall. And that is the beauty of karma. It brings balance and fairness into a world that sometimes feels unjust. Let the process unfold as it should, and rest in the assurance that karma always comes full circle. Instead of spending your time and energy on seeking revenge or trying to right the wrongs that others have done to you, focus on the one thing that truly matters: your purpose. Your purpose is the thing that has been placed inside of you, uniquely designed to guide you toward greatness. It is not defined by the actions or opinions of others, nor can it be influenced by the negativity or harm they try to bring your way. The moment you begin to chase after justice for the wrongs done to you, you shift your focus from the higher calling on your life to the petty distractions of the world. When you focus on your purpose, you are walking in alignment with the divine plan that has been laid out for you. Your purpose is far greater than any temporary conflict or challenge. It is far greater than the people who try to pull you into drama or negativity. You have been placed on this earth with a mission, and that mission is not to respond to every attack or comment. Your mission is to rise above it all, to stay focused on what truly matters, and to continue moving forward undeterred by the noise around you. The moment you take your eyes off your purpose and engage in the drama of others, you lose valuable time and energy. Every moment you spend focusing on someone else's negativity or injustice is a moment taken away from your own potential. There will always be people who try to distract you, who try to pull you into their petty battles, but you must recognize that your journey is much bigger than that. The more you respond to every attack or criticism, the more you divert your attention from your destiny. It's like being on a road to success and stopping at every bump along the way, getting stuck in the mud instead of moving forward. The truth is, what is meant for you will come to you, and no one can stop it. Your purpose is bigger than the actions of others. It is bigger than the words they speak or the harm they try to inflict. No person, no situation, and no attack can derail the plan that God has placed over your life. When you focus on your purpose, you are acknowledging the truth that God is in control, and He will make sure that your steps are directed toward the path you were meant to walk. When you stay focused on what you are called to do, you allow God to handle the rest. Your purpose will always give you clarity, direction, and meaning. It will provide the strength you need to rise above the challenges, and it will propel you forward despite the setbacks. Every time you choose to focus on your purpose instead of getting caught up in the negativity of others, you are choosing to elevate yourself. You are choosing to take the high road, and that is the road that leads to greatness. You were not called to waste your time on things that do not serve your purpose. You were called to rise above, to lead, and to make an impact. Every distraction, every attack, every false accusation is a test of your focus. Will you let it pull you off course, or will you stay true to the higher calling on your life? Your purpose is where your power lies. When you operate from that place, you align yourself with the divine, and nothing can stand in the way of what you are meant to accomplish. Focus on your purpose and watch how everything else falls into place. Your purpose will provide the clarity, strength, and momentum to keep moving forward no matter what others may try to do. When people mess with you, they believe they have the power to affect your life, to shift the trajectory of your path, to disrupt your peace. But the truth is, no one can truly alter the divine plan that has been placed on your life. They might think their actions will have a lasting impact, that their words or their schemes can shake you, but they don't understand the depth of your purpose. You are here for a reason, and that reason is bigger than any attack or offense. The more you focus on your purpose, the less you will be concerned with the negativity they send your way. Your purpose is the anchor that holds you steady, even when the storms of life rage around you. When people try to hurt you, disappoint you, or derail you, they are acting out of their own insecurities and their own issues. They don't have control over your destiny, no matter how much they try to manipulate, control, or sabotage your life. They may throw obstacles in your way, but they cannot stop your journey. Only you have the power to determine how you respond. And when you choose to focus on your purpose rather than the actions of others, you are taking control of your destiny. You cannot allow the actions of others to dictate how you move forward in life. People will come and go, and the actions may hurt for a moment, but your purpose is what will always carry you through. Your purpose is unique to you, and it cannot be overshadowed by the words or actions of others. There are those who might try to tear you down to undermine your progress, but they do not know the depth of your calling. They cannot see the blueprint of your life that has been written for you before you were even born. They don't see the greatness that lies within you, the strength that you carry, the wisdom that is developing inside of you. So when they come against you, they are merely pushing you closer to your destiny, though they may not realize it. Every attack, every insult, every lie is simply a tool that is helping you grow, a force that is refining you for the greatness that is to come. When you focus on your purpose, it allows you to remain grounded and steady no matter what happens around you. It gives you the clarity and the focus to see past the distractions. It helps you recognize that what people say or do to you is not as important as the vision you have for your life. They may try to knock you off course, but they will fail because your purpose is bigger than their efforts. Your purpose will always lead you back to the path that was designed for you. You have to make the decision to not let other people's actions take your focus away from the things that matter most. The only thing that can truly derail you is losing sight of your purpose, giving power to things that don't matter. When you walk in your purpose, you walk in your power. Your purpose fuels your passion fuels your drive, and that drive is what carries you through every challenge. Those who try to come against you will not have the power to stop the momentum you've built. Your purpose will carry you through every trial, and it will give you the wisdom to navigate every obstacle with grace. The distractions of this world, the negativity of others, cannot stand in the way of someone who is firmly rooted in their purpose. When you focus on your purpose, you are aligning yourself with the greater plan that has been set for your life. The forces of the universe, the power of God, will be with you, propelling you forward. So the next time someone tries to hurt you, remember that they can't steal your purpose. They can try to take your peace, but they can never take your destiny. No one has that kind of power. Your purpose is unstoppable, and as long as you stay focused on it, no attack, no matter how big or small, will ever change the course of your life. The people who try to tear you down don't have the final say. Your purpose does. And when you stay aligned with that purpose, everything that's meant for you will come to you in time, in the perfect way, at the perfect moment. The distractions, the obstacles, the negativity will fade away, but your purpose will remain, guiding you toward the greatness that is already yours. When someone harms you, whether through words, actions, or betrayal, it's easy to want to fight back, to make them pay for what they've done. But the truth is, it is not your responsibility to exact justice. Karma, or the law of cause and effect, is already in motion, and it is designed to restore balance without your intervention. The moment you feel tempted to seek revenge or to plot against those who have wronged you, you must remember that the universe, or the divine power that governs all things, is far more capable of delivering justice than you ever could be. When you try to take matters into your own hands, you are taking on a burden that was never meant for you to carry. You see, the energy we send out is always in motion. The law of karma is not bound by time or space, and it doesn't operate on our human schedule. Just because you don't see the consequences of someone's actions immediately doesn't mean they won't experience the effects of their behavior. The universe has a way of ensuring that everyone gets what they deserve in the most perfect timing. It might not look like what you expect or on the timeline that you anticipate, but when karma works, it works. And when it does, it often comes back in ways far more significant and impactful than anything you could have imagined. The beauty of karma is that it doesn't require your emotional involvement. When you try to get even, when you try to teach someone a lesson, you are giving away your peace and your energy. You are allowing their actions, their negativity, to consume your mind, your thoughts, and your spirit. This is exactly what they want to distract you, to make you focus on them rather than on your own growth and progress. When you respond in kind, you only continue the cycle of negativity, and it will drain you. It will pull you off your path and take you away from the things that truly matter: your peace, your growth, and your purpose. Justice will come, but it will come in a way that you could never orchestrate. It will come from the divine, from the unseen forces that govern this world, and it will be perfect. This doesn't mean you shouldn't protect yourself or stand up for yourself when necessary. It doesn't mean you should be a passive participant in your own life. But it does mean you must trust in the greater law of balance and fairness. You must trust that the actions of others, no matter how hurtful, will eventually be answered by the very same forces that created them. It is a law of nature, a law of the universe, that no one escapes. The harm they have caused will find its way back to them. You don't need to be present for the consequences to unfold. You don't need to witness the justice or stand in the moment of their downfall. Your peace comes from knowing that the universe has it all under control. You do not have to lose sleep over what they did or let their actions dictate your happiness. The moment you release the need for justice to be served by your hand, you free yourself from the prison of bitterness and resentment. You open yourself to peace, to healing, and to the greater plans that God has for you. Every moment you spend focused on their wrongdoings is a moment you waste, a moment taken away from your own life's progress. Karma does not need your help to work. It is a natural force working in the background of life, ensuring that no one gets away with evil. You do not have to worry about someone getting away with their behavior. Trust that their actions will catch up with them. Their lies, their betrayals, their manipulations, they will return to them in ways they did not expect. Their deception will be revealed, their selfishness exposed, and their cruelty will come back in forms they cannot escape. It's important to remember that karma is not just about retribution, it's about balance. It's about ensuring that the energy you put into the world is the energy that returns to you. You are here to live your life, to fulfill your purpose, and to move forward with power and grace. Do not let the actions of others distract you from that. When you focus on the people who have hurt you, when you engage in the drama, you allow them to control your thoughts and your emotions. You give them power over you. But when you let karma do its work, you reclaim that power. You allow the forces of justice to operate without interference, and you focus on the things that matter most, your own growth, your own journey, and your own peace. So let go. Trust in the divine process. Know that justice will always prevail, and that the harm they cause will return to them in ways that are beyond your understanding. There are moments in life when you feel the weight of betrayal, when you feel the sting of hurt caused by others. And in those moments, you might wonder why it seems like they continue to live their lives unaffected by the pain they've caused you. It might feel as though they are getting away with it. And you might even ask yourself, why do bad things happen to good people? But understand this, the apparent peace and prosperity that someone experiences after wronging you is not an indication of their success, nor is it an assurance that they will forever remain unaffected. The truth is, the consequences of their actions are already in motion, even if you cannot see them. You may not witness the immediate effects of their behavior, but that does not mean they will escape unscathed. Every action has a ripple effect, and no one can avoid the inevitable consequences of their decisions. It is important to remember that the people who hurt you are not exempt from the laws that govern this universe. Whether they acknowledge it or not, whether they seem to be untouched by their wrongdoing or not, they cannot escape the consequences of their behavior. The reason they seem unaffected may be because karma is not working on your timeline. It doesn't operate according to your expectations. You may think it's unfair, but the truth is, the delay in consequences doesn't mean they won't come. It is in the perfect timing, in ways that they cannot anticipate, that justice will be served. No one is immune from the consequences of their actions. They may walk around with a false sense of peace, but inside there is a stirring. Inside there is a reckoning, and the peace they seem to have is only temporary. Sometimes we think that because someone has not faced the consequences of their behavior immediately, it means they won't face them at all. We forget that justice is not always instant, and it often comes in ways we cannot predict. But what is certain is that their actions will find them, and the universe will make sure that they are held accountable for the harm they have caused. The seeds of negativity, the seeds of hurt they've planted, will grow into their own form of retribution. They may not see it now, but their time will come. It may not come in the form of a public disgrace or a dramatic downfall, but it will come. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Their choices will affect their lives in ways they may never expect. You don't have to be there to witness the consequences unfold. You don't have to see the retribution happen in front of you. The law of karma doesn't need your permission to operate, and it doesn't need your involvement to work. When you stop worrying about how or when they will be affected by their actions, you free yourself from the chains of bitterness, anger, and resentment. You allow yourself to heal. You allow your own life to move forward. You are not responsible for their fate, and you don't have to take it upon yourself to make them pay for what they've done. In fact, the more you focus on their consequences, the more you stay trapped in the past, stuck in the same cycle of pain and frustration. Instead, focus on your own path. Focus on your growth and healing. Your focus should be on your own journey, on the purpose you are meant to fulfill. You have no time to waste on people who are not aligned with your mission. If someone has wronged you, their time for reckoning will come, and it will come in the way that is most fitting for their actions. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, even if it doesn't happen when you want it to. Your peace and your progress are far more important than worrying about someone else's fate. Keep moving forward, knowing that what is meant for you will come in divine timing. Remember, the peace they seem to have is only temporary. The harm they cause you will eventually find its way back to them in a way that will open their eyes, in a way that will force them to reflect on their actions. It might not be in a way that satisfies your desire for revenge, but it will be in a way that is just and fitting for their behavior. Trust in the process, trust in the law of karma, and trust that you don't have to take control of things that are beyond your grasp. Keep your heart pure, keep your focus on what matters, and know that justice will be done. You don't have to watch it happen. It will unfold naturally. All you need to do is continue moving forward with your head held high, knowing that no one escapes the consequences of their actions, no matter how long it may take. The reality is that life is not just about what happens in the moment, but about the long-term effects of our actions. When people hurt you, betray you, or try to manipulate you, it can seem as though they're getting away with it, especially when you don't immediately see the repercussions of their actions. But what you must understand is that nothing lasts forever. What goes around truly does come around. The consequences of their actions are like seeds being planted in the soil of their future. They may not sprout right away, but the day will come when those seeds of negativity, dishonesty, and harm will begin to grow, and the harvest will not be something they can escape. It is a natural law that no one can outrun their own actions, no matter how long they may appear to be thriving or getting away with their wrongdoings. While they may appear to go on with their lives unscathed, the truth is that they are unknowingly building a future that they cannot control. The damage they've caused to others, the pain they've inflicted, will come back to them, and it often comes in the most unexpected ways. They might have temporarily gained some sort of advantage by hurting you, or they might have fooled others into believing that their actions are justified. But nothing is hidden from the eyes of the universe, and nothing can remain concealed forever. The universe, in all its wisdom, ensures that what we sow is what we reap. They may be walking through life with their head high, pretending as if they are unaffected by the consequences of their actions, but deep down they are setting themselves up for a future filled with challenges, setbacks, and trials. The universe operates in a way that ensures balance. It is a powerful system that keeps track of every action, every word, and every decision. Even if they appear to be living in peace or prosperity, you must understand that peace is not always external. True peace comes from within. The harm they've caused others will manifest in ways they cannot predict, and that manifestation is often much more impactful than anything we might have imagined for them. It may come in the form of personal struggles, in relationships that fall apart, in health issues, or in financial setbacks. What's important to understand is that these are not accidents. These are the natural consequences of their actions coming to fruition in the most fitting way possible. When someone wrongs you, it's easy to feel frustrated by the silence in the aftermath. You might think that nothing has changed or that they are somehow escaping the justice they deserve. But trust me when I say that they are not escaping anything. Life has a way of correcting itself, of bringing people face to face with the results of their choices. It may take time, but eventually their actions will turn against them. It's not your job to deliver that justice. Your responsibility is to live your life, to focus on your growth, to keep your heart clean and your spirit focused on positive things. You don't need to worry about how or when it will come back to them. Your role is to let go of the situation, trust the process, and release any attachment to the outcome. Every wrongdoer eventually faces the consequences of their own decisions. They might not see it coming. They might be unaware of the effect their actions will have on their lives. But the truth is, when you harm others, the damage is not just done to them, it is done to you as well. Their conscience might be silent now, but in the end, their actions will weigh on them. It could be in their own relationships, their health, or their peace of mind. They may not even realize that the difficulties they're facing are the result of the negative energy they put into the world. But it will catch up to them in ways that are beyond their control. So as much as you might feel the desire to confront them, to make them see the wrong they have done, you must remember that karma, in its infinite wisdom, will take care of things in ways that you cannot. Your role is not to be their judge, it's to be the person who rises above, who continues to walk with integrity, who remains focused on their purpose, and who allows the universe to handle the rest. When you trust that karma will catch up with them, you are releasing yourself from the emotional weight of their actions. You are freeing yourself to move forward and continue your own journey. And when you do, you will find that the consequences they face will be far more profound than you could have ever wished for them. It is easy to feel tempted to try and control the outcome when someone has wronged you. We often desire to see justice done in the way we imagine it should unfold, and we can become fixated on seeing the person who hurt us experience the consequences of their actions. But the truth is, sometimes our greatest strength lies in our ability to relinquish control over the situation and allow the natural order of things to take place. When you hold on to the need for immediate justice, when you remain focused on how they should be punished or how their wrongdoing should catch up with them, you are only chaining yourself to the past. You are allowing your thoughts, your energy, and your peace of mind to be controlled by someone who no longer deserves any of your attention. Letting go of the need to control what happens to someone who has hurt you is an act of immense emotional and spiritual maturity. It is a sign that you have moved beyond the hurt, beyond the desire for retribution, and into a place of peace. You no longer need to witness their downfall to feel that justice has been served. You no longer need their suffering to validate your pain. When you let go, you free yourself from the emotional burden of waiting for the consequences to unfold. You begin to understand that the universe operates on a much higher level than we can comprehend, and it has a perfect sense of timing and balance. You must trust that the consequences of their actions will manifest in a way that is beyond your understanding. You don't need to keep score of their wrongs. You don't need to hold on to the hurt they've caused you because it no longer serves your growth. Instead, release it, knowing that the universe will take care of the rest. The moment you let go is the moment you regain your power. You stop allowing someone else's actions to dictate your emotional state. You stop letting their negativity control your life and your peace. You choose to walk forward, knowing that you have no need for their punishment to feel healed. This release doesn't mean that you're letting them off the hook. It doesn't mean that their actions won't have consequences. It means that you are no longer bound by them, that you are no longer holding yourself hostage by your obsession with their wrongdoing. You have decided that your peace, your growth, and your future are more important than any sense of immediate justice. It's about trusting that their karma will arrive at the right moment in the way that is most fitting for their actions. By letting go of your need to control the outcome, you also allow yourself to grow in ways you never imagined. You become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You learn that you are not defined by what others do to you, but by how you respond to what happens in your life. When you release the desire for vengeance or to see someone suffer in return for their wrongs, you elevate yourself. You show the world that you are not a prisoner of bitterness, that you are not a person who lives in the past or is stuck in the cycle of revenge. You are a person who chooses to move forward with grace and strength, knowing that in time, the universe will balance the scales. There is a greater peace in releasing control and letting go of the need to witness someone else's suffering. You realize that your life is too precious, too valuable to be spent obsessing over someone who wronged you. Your energy is better spent on your own healing, on your own journey towards success, and on the things that truly matter. When you let go, you are free to become the best version of yourself. You are free to continue living your life with purpose and with the knowledge that everything that is meant for you will come in time. You no longer need to force an outcome or demand that things be resolved according to your plan. You trust the natural flow of life, and in doing so, you experience the true meaning of peace. There are moments when we witness someone's actions, their deceit, their betrayal, or their manipulation, and it feels like they've escaped without facing any consequences. It's easy to become frustrated in those moments, to feel as though the wrongdoer is living without accountability, as though they are unaffected by the harm they've caused. But the reality is, when they have wronged you, they have already set the stage for their own downfall. You don't need to witness their punishment or downfall to know that it will eventually come. You don't need to see it unfold before your eyes, because the true nature of justice is rooted in something much more profound than what we perceive in the immediate. It's important to recognize that when someone hurts you, they are not just hurting you in the moment. Their actions ripple out into the universe, and the energy they put out will find its way back to them. Sometimes karma doesn't show itself immediately, and it doesn't always take the form we expect. We may not see the direct result of the actions right away, and that can be frustrating. But what we must remember is that their actions will catch up with them, whether we see it or not, whether we know the details of their suffering or not. They will not escape what they've set into motion. It's just a matter of time. Many times we want to see justice serve itself quickly. We want to feel as though they will immediately get a taste of their own medicine. But the beauty of karma is that it works in ways that we can't always predict. The universe has a way of delivering consequences that are perfectly tailored to each person's actions. What they put out into the world will come back to them in a way that is often beyond their control or comprehension. And what's even more powerful is that the consequences will come at the time that is right for them, not according to our timeline. In their minds, they may believe they have gotten away with their wrongdoings. They may think that they are living their lives without the weight of accountability on their shoulders. But in truth, they are walking a path that is slowly but surely leading them toward the consequences of their own making. It's essential to understand that the consequences will not always come in the form we expect. For some, it may manifest as personal loss, relationships falling apart, financial struggles, or personal health issues. For others, the pain may come in the form of the deep emotional turmoil they will eventually face when they realize the impact of their actions on others. They may come to recognize far too late the damage they've done and feel the weight of the guilt and regret that inevitably follows wrongdoings. And that is a consequence in itself, even if it's not something we can see or feel. The beauty of understanding this is that it releases you from the need to hold on to anger or resentment. You don't need to see their punishment to know that it is coming. You can live your life in peace, knowing that the universe has a way of ensuring that every action has its consequences. You don't have to wait by the sidelines hoping for them to suffer or feeling as though justice has not been served. Just because you don't see the result doesn't mean that the result isn't coming. The universe doesn't forget, and it doesn't miss a single action. It records everything, and in due time, that record will be read, and the appropriate consequences will be handed out. When you release the need to see someone suffer, you allow yourself to heal. You don't have to remain in a state of anger or bitterness. You don't have to let their actions control your emotional state. Instead, you trust that the process of justice in its most divine form will unfold on its own. Karma is not something you need to chase after. It's not something you need to enforce. Your focus should remain on your own growth, your own healing, and your own life's purpose. When you let go of the desire to witness their downfall, you free yourself from the emotional weight they've placed on your heart. You stop giving them control over your emotional well-being. And that, in itself, is a victory. In the end, the one who wronged you may never fully understand the impact of their actions. They may never see the direct consequences of their misdeeds. But rest assured, the universe has a way of bringing about balance in ways that are far beyond our understanding. What they have sown will grow into something they cannot escape. And that truth, that knowledge should bring you peace. You can walk away knowing that justice, in the truest sense, is always served, whether or not you see it happen, whether or not it happens in the time or way you expect. The consequences will always come back to them in ways they cannot control or predict. And as for you, your peace and your life are too valuable to waste on waiting for that moment. Trust the process, trust the universe, and continue to move forward with strength and grace. When you find yourself caught up in the aftermath of someone else's wrongdoing, it's easy to feel as though the damage done to you defines you. The pain, the betrayal, the injustice, it can all seem overwhelming, and it can be hard to see beyond the hurt in those moments. But you must understand that the situation you are in does not define you, nor does the action of the person who hurt you. The true measure of your strength lies not in the way others treat you, but in how you choose to respond to their actions. You are not a victim of the wrongs done to you. You are a survivor, a person with the ability to rise above the pain and create something beautiful from your experiences. The reality is, people's actions toward you do not diminish your value. They do not change your worth or your purpose. What they have done is simply a reflection of them, not of you. When someone chooses to hurt you, it says more about their character than it ever says about yours. You must refuse to let their negativity and cruelty become a reflection of who you are. When you carry their wrongs with you, when you allow them to shape your identity, you're giving them power that they never deserved. You are allowing them to define you rather than you defining yourself. Your identity is built on your own choices, on your own beliefs, and on your ability to stand strong in the face of adversity. It is built on your capacity for forgiveness, for understanding, and for growth. The one who has wronged you may try to diminish you, but their actions can never take away your inherent strength or your purpose in this world. You must always remember that you are the author of your own story. You are the one who chooses how to respond to the challenges that life throws your way. And it is through the choices you make in the face of adversity that you become stronger and more resilient. In the moments when you feel like you've been broken or wounded, remind yourself of the power you have within you. Remind yourself that your journey is yours alone. You are not defined by the actions of others, but by the way you rise from those actions. The fact that you are still standing, still moving forward, and still seeking peace and healing shows your incredible strength. Every time you choose to forgive, every time you choose to let go, you are building your character. You are choosing to be the bigger person, to rise above the negativity, and to become a better version of yourself in the process. It is also important to recognize that what others do to you is not a reflection of your worth. No matter how much they try to diminish you, you remain whole, valuable, and powerful. You must never allow their behavior to make you question who you are or what you are capable of. You are more than the hurt they've caused. You are more than the wounds they've inflicted. Your greatness is not determined by their actions, but by how you respond to those actions. Furthermore, when you understand that you are not the product of someone else's actions, you begin to realize the power of your own choices. The way you decide to react, to move forward, to heal, and to rise above sets the tone for the rest of your life. You are not beholden to their actions. You are not defined by the wrongs they've done to you. You have the power to reclaim your peace, to step into your purpose, and to live a life that is fulfilling and meaningful. This realization should empower you, should inspire you, and should give you the strength to move forward with even greater resolve. The more you understand that you are in control of your own identity, that you are not defined by the actions of others, the more you free yourself from the chains of resentment and bitterness. You begin to see that your life, your happiness, and your peace are not dependent on the way others treat you, but on the way you choose to treat yourself. Every time you choose to rise above the hurt, every time you choose to heal instead of hold on to the pain, you are creating a new version of yourself, a version that is stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. You are proving to yourself that you are in control of your own destiny, that nothing and no one can take away your power unless you allow it. And as you walk through life, understanding that your worth is not tied to the actions of others, you will find that you grow into a person who is unstoppable, a person who is defined by their own purpose and resilience. This understanding is not just a source of strength, it is the key to unlocking a future full of peace, love, and unlimited potential. In conclusion, remember this: the actions of others, no matter how harmful, cannot diminish the strength, value, or purpose that resides within you. You are not a product of the pain they cause, nor are you defined by the negativity they bring into your life. Your identity is built on your choices, your resilience, and your capacity to rise above the challenges that life presents. You have the power to decide how you respond, how you heal, and how you move forward. By refusing to let their wrongdoings define you, you take back control of your life, embracing your true worth and potential. The universe works in mysterious ways, and what is meant for you will never pass you by. Trust that karma will take its course, and in the meantime, focus on your own growth, healing, and peace. You are stronger than you know, and the journey ahead is one of endless possibility. Keep moving forward with faith, knowing that your best days are yet to come.